Hello, my name is Sally Deonareinsing. This presentation is Introduction to Human Performance Technology. Our objectives are that by the end of this presentation, you will be able to define human performance technology, contrast HPT and instructional design, and list at least 2 human performance governing bodies. Kang and Melinda have identified 31 published definitions of the term human performance technology. The concern was that an incorrect definition could possibly impact the application depending on the field. When possible, the definition of HPT is best determined by the field it is in reference to. For the purpose of this discussion, human performance technology is a systematic approach to improving individual and organizational performance. Or, as Rosenberg defines it, a systems thinking applied to human resource activities. The HPT model has had a few iterations since 1992. Initially designed for performance technologists seeking to improve workplace performance, we now know interventions are multiple and varied to meet organizational challenges. Interventions now focus on key attributes that influence a solution. There are many more parameters to consider that influence how valid and effective a solution can be. You should consider the characteristics of the target audience and the work processes related to organizational need. As for learning is characterized as actions or events designed to help someone gain new skills and knowledge. The learning environment can take many forms, and it's defined as any formal education setting, whether a K-12 classroom or beyond, vocational school, corporate training, or even military training. For this discussion, we narrow the learning environment to corporate training. Before we move into HPT and corporate training, let's see what you've learned so far. Pause the video here to read through the definitions below. When you've answered the question, press the play button to check your knowledge. The correct definition of human performance technology is B, a systematic approach to improving individual and organizational performance. If the rest of the definition sounded familiar, that's because A is the definition for human resources development, and C is the definition for instructional design. HPT and corporate training. Interventions are experienced through on-the-job training, simulation, role play, and self-study. When learning is used as a performance improvement strategy, whatever new skill or knowledge is acquired leads to improved performance outcomes. As early as the 1970s and 1980s, the focus on training shifted to performance improvement. Education technology played a major role in that shift from training to performance. On this slide, we're going to talk about HPT versus ADDIE. While some of the focus on the shift to HPT and performance, others like authors Cherupsky and Pembroke express concern over the declining use of HPT. With agile methodology like agile methods approach and lean processes taking over, and a growing preference for instructional design models such as ADDIE and SAM, we're seeing the decline of the use of the HPT model. Most large organizations with large volume training needs are going to rely more quickly on traditional and comfortable training solutions. Most large organizations with large volume training needs are going to rely more quickly on traditional and comfortable training solutions. The ADDIE model tends to be one of those comfortable training solutions, as it's emphasized and can be routinely used in different areas of an organization, from business to clinical, with the occasional reference or caution back to HPT. The preference for ADDIE is not surprising, as it does utilize the needs assessment and front-end analysis suggested by HPT. Though they have similar models, keep in mind HPT is a separate field from instructional design. In addition to analysis, design, development, implementation, and evaluation of the ADDIE model, the HPT model includes a performance and cause analysis to determine the if and why there's a problem, and the selection of both instructional and non-instructional interventions to address the problem. There are several examples and instances where other methodologies can be used successfully. However, they continue to emphasize the use of front-end analysis to determine the best intervention for the identified gap. The authors encourage fostering HPT over instructional methodologies, promoting cross-functional teams for added value to the organization's goals and performance, and fostering collaboration. To identify the right intervention for the best outcomes, the issue should be pinpointed through needs assessment and gap analysis to first identify and confirm the issue, followed by a solution recommendation. For successful implementation of HPT interventions that will be of value to the organization, remember to consider the characteristics of the target audience and the work processes necessary to the organization. Let's move into our next knowledge check. Can you fill in the blanks? Press pause to answer the questions here, and then press play to check your answers. How did you do? Human performance and governing bodies. There's concern that HPT is so like the instructional design models in use, it leads to the continued over-reliance on training. Part of the disconnect is a result of companies who continue to push training on employees who already have the knowledge and skill rather than address the actual issues of missing motivation and lack of resources. A lack of motivation and resources are a result of organizational issues that prevent training and development from being successful. Enter organizations that emphasize a performance-focused approach to training and human performance improvement. These are the governing bodies in human performance: the International Society for Performance Improvement, the Association for Talent Development, and a third, the Association for Educational Communication and Technology. Governance is important because the intent is to foster an ongoing collaboration and innovative practices between entities. They're also responsible for outlining acceptable rules and norms. So a quick turnaround here, but can you identify at least 2 of the human performance governing bodies? I think you're correct. It's the International Society for Performance Improvement and Association for Talent Development. And we've reached the end. Here are my references. Thank you for your time.